Warriors. They're in first place right now, but if you looked last week, they were in fifth. So I don't understand why this isn't resonating with the fans. I really don't. So, Justin, I'm confused, but I will say I have to agree on your one point. I've probably watched the least amount of LeBron James play basketball, and everyone knows how much of a huge LeBron fan I am, because quite frankly, when games start at 10:30 and tip-offs really at like 10:35, I can get about 2/4 of that in, and then I got to go to bed because I've got to be up for surgery the next day. I can't just stay up till 1:30 in the morning all the way through the Lakers schedule to watch them play basketball because I'm a LeBron James fan. So if he's really a transcendental player that drives eyeballs to the television screen, you'd have to believe at least that some of that is attributed to a major player going out west.
Yeah, I can definitely buy into that at some point. But I think at some point the league is sort of talking out both sides of their mouth. And some of it may be the fact that their own marketing plan and what they've sort of bragged about may be coming back to bite them. The NBA has always bragged about owning the younger demo, that they control young men, ages 13 to 30-some or whatever demo that they like there, or whatever is the actual numbers. But they have a younger demo than NFL and certainly Major League Baseball. But the one thing we do know about that younger demo is they're cutting the cord a lot faster and at a lot higher rates than that older demo. So I think the NBA may be suffering a little bit from that. How many people do you know now, that younger people, that talk about the fact that they don't have traditional cable? They go more with the Netflix, Hulu, Slings, some type of that, where they might not even get a TNT or an ESPN. Then you mix in the fact that in the Eastern time zone, most of LeBron James games are now starting at that late time. And the fact is like, well, do I really want to start to watch this game when I'm definitely not going to be able to see the end of it? I can't stay up till 1 or 1:30 every other night trying to watch LeBron. You may pick your spots. Okay, they're playing Golden State. That's a game I want to see. They're playing this team or that team. A Philly travels in. You're probably going to wait till LeBron, they make an East Coast trip where they're playing a Boston and a Philly and a Milwaukee, where you can catch them at 7:30 or 8 o'clock and you can see a whole game. So I'd be interesting to see the breakdown of that in the ratings, but I think that's part of the problem. I think and I don't discount as well, Eric, that fans have gotten turned off by the regular season because of what Golden State has done. If you sort of already know that, okay, this team's going to trounce everyone unless someone gets hurt, and unless they're actually hurt in the playoffs, they're just going to run through everybody. They beat people when they're not even trying. They beat people when they're fighting with each other. They're going to annihilate people when they're actually playing together. So I do think that factors in. I think the NBA has a few things at play here that they've sort of let go. When they have this cap structure that they have, and they let these super teams get built, and they don't have a hard cap structure that sort of spreads the talent around, I think this is part of the problem. I think it is a little bit of everything at this point that's starting to catch up with them. I think as a league deep down, they probably are hoping that Kevin Durant goes to somewhere like a New York Knicks team that brings some fire back on the East Coast, that gives people a chance to tune in that type of media market, because I don't think it's going to continue to get better if that Golden State team continues to stick together and they keep winning. Yeah, people will tune in June to sort of see history, see a dynasty, but they're just not going to be interested from that October to April timeframe.
Is there any possibility that Kevin Durant could go play in China? Because that's really what I'm more interested in.
Who's your source on that?
I don't need a source. I'm just, wishful thinking, I guess.
Are you saying because you don't like Kevin Durant? Are you saying that you're not a fan of the toxic comments? Are you still upset from that from last week?
I'm always upset with Kevin Durant. He takes titles from my boy LeBron James. Come on, Justin, you know this. Kevin Durant just wants to join a dynasty in Golden State, win a couple of rings, and be like, yeah, I'm the man. I'm the man. Go play in China.
So do you think now, because that was the talk, and actually Vegas put Durant as the Lakers being the destination that they had as his top choice on the board, but then he comes out with that interview and he talks about how difficult it is to play around LeBron and the pressure he puts on everybody else, and it's a toxic environment. It's not necessarily LeBron's fault, but just the way the media sort of caters to him, and he calls them, there's groupies in the media. I don't know if he mentioned you by name or not. It would have been nice if he gave you a shout out there as a LeBron groupie. But do you think now that sort of closes the door on LA, that we know that Durant is one of those thin-skinned guys that really playing with a guy like LeBron would be very difficult for him?
I don't know. I really can't tell. It's hard to tell personalities sometimes in the NBA because, yeah, it would seem that way right now with what we know of Kevin Durant. But I wouldn't put it past him to chase down there and look for more titles over the next couple of years if things aren't going well in Golden State, because it seems like he's not below doing that either. But yeah, I mean, LeBron's a tough guy to play with. So I think it's going to be a tough call for Kevin Durant, just like it would for a Kawhi Leonard, especially if Kawhi keeps playing like he is in Toronto. He may not want to come down and play with a guy like LeBron. So no, in all seriousness, Kevin Durant's not going to China. We all know that. But I wouldn't mind if he got out of the West and went over to New York or something like that, because I definitely don't want him with LeBron. And I don't want that for LeBron's sake either. I don't want anybody who's on the Michael Jordan side of things to say, well, now LeBron got another ring or two, but it's because Kevin Durant joined the organization and now it's this and that and the other. So I would actually prefer that Kevin Durant and LeBron James don't join forces.
Well, I don't see, if Kevin Durant's really a competitor, I don't see why he would want to go somewhere with the player that's sort of considered the best player playing at the time. And in that conversation, why you would want to go there and help him win more titles. It just sort of keeps you down. If Durant finds a way to win 4, 5, 6 titles and LeBron gets stuck at 3 or maybe gets another one, gets to 4, but Durant has more. I'm not saying that Durant gets elevated over LeBron, but Durant certainly moves himself up the pantheon of all-time NBA talent. So I don't know why Durant would want to sort of help LeBron, because then if Durant goes to LA and they win a title together, it's still going to be all about LeBron. Really, regardless of what Durant did, it'll be LeBron winning his 4th and all the Jordan talk will come back. Durant's going to fall to the side. I mean, he's a guy that's on social media all the time. He's got to realize that. So, look, I think for you should just throw a tweet out there that says something negative about Kevin Durant, and if you get some strange response that is taking up for Durant, hell, it's probably him on his burner account.
Yeah, that is the one interesting thing about the Twitter world, isn't it? It's like you and I mention so many people in the athletic world, in the media world, and you never get any response when anything is positive. But boy, if you mention someone and it's a little bit negative, it's like everyone comes out of the woodwork, trolls, and sometimes even the athlete himself, as I've had with James Hahn and Graham Dillette from the PGA Tour world. It's crazy, but man, you could say a million positive things in an mention and they'll never respond to you, but one negative thing and they're all over you. And I'd be willing to mention Kevin Durant in a negative way if it got us any more publicity. But speaking of publicity, Talkback Fan Talk has just partnered with the Ozarks Independent. I got to give a shout out to my buddy Jason Wirt, photographer, journalist, and editor for a new online newspaper. They're locally owned, locally focused news, sports, and events for the Ozarks out of southwestern Missouri. Go check out ozarksindependent.com. If you're from the area, it's a great read, and you will find an advertisement for the Talkback podcast right above their sports section. So great job, Jason. I wish you guys all the best. That's going to do it for episode 228 of Talkback. We hope you have a great weekend. Thank you for listening to this episode of Talkback. Staying current on sports is our number one goal, so we drop a new episode each Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or the podcatcher of your choice. For more info about the show, to meet the hosts, or to partner with us on future episodes, please visit TalkbackFanTalk.com. We really enjoy hearing your take on the world of sports, even when you disagree. After all, this show is dedicated to you, the fans. So get direct access to us on Twitter using @TalkbackJustin and @TalkbackEric. Check out our corporate feed on Twitter and Instagram using the handle @TalkbackFanTalk. We hope you have a great week. We'll talk back at you next time.